Hi fellers, and welcome to the first episode of my channel. Today on this episode, we will be building a roller cart. The cart I build today will be used as a table saw stand and will be a very basic design. So you may need to alternate the design slightly, but it can be as easy or as complex as you would like to make it to fit your own personal needs. I decided to build my own stand today because I tended to be very hard on my tools, and I needed something that was sturdy, inexpensive, and I could add on to later. This video will give you the basic processes that you will need to build your own roller cart. If you like what you see or know of anyone that can benefit from this channel, please like, share, and subscribe to it. If you have any comments, recommendations, or would like to see something specifically built, please list it in the comments below. I will try to respond to as many comments as I can. I will list all the items that I use for this project along with the overall cost in the description below. Let's get started on this project.
When making your cut mark, make sure to make this mark as precise as possible. What I personally like to do is place my square under the tape and use either the top or bottom edge of the board when using straight wood. Once you have made your cut line, measure it again just to make sure that it's the right length that you need it to be. Remember, measure twice, cut once. What you see here is I'm lining up the blade to my cut mark to make sure this is exactly where I want my cut to be. Once the cut has been made, check the size of your board one last time to make sure that it is exactly the right size that you need it to be. What I'm doing here is using the board I just cut to mark the next board I'm going to cut the same size. Doing so, I will not need to use the tape measure. When using this method, make sure to align the ends evenly. I would suggest using the square to do this. Repeat the process that you just did to create the other 3 legs. Once you're done creating the other 3, make sure they're all the same size.
Next, I want to embed the 2x4 inside the 4x4 so that it sits a little more flush in there. So I'm going to line them up and get my lines. I'm always forgetting a pencil somewhere. So get it lined up. Top, I may have to do this a couple times to make my marks. This is going to be where I etch it up. So this will be the top of the table. This one. And I could do all 4 at the same time, and I probably should have. Make it a little easier on myself. All lined up. Set my 2x4 up here. Get lined up with the last one. It should line up with all 4. Just make my mark. Good to go. Now, I want to set my depth setting. Easy way to do this, just turn one over, set it on the other 3, know where I want to cut out. I want to cut 4 inches down, 2 inches in, and I just continue the process with the other 3 boards. A couple ways I can do this now. I can either set my depth setting on here so that it only cuts 2 inches deep. Be safe when you're doing this kind of stuff. And unplug it. I like to tie a knot in it so that it doesn't come unplugged by itself with the slide. And I can set a depth setting on here to just where I want it. Again, this is part of the reason we unplug the saw. I'd rather be a little shallow than a little deep. I do change my depth setting with this screw right here. It's about right. But again, I said I wanted to be a little shallow rather than a little deep. So let's back it out just a little bit. See where we are. Now we got to plug it back in. Like I said before, a little hook in there. A little knot. Plug it in. My pencil. Check my depth, so we're going to back it out just a little bit and try it again. It's pretty close. See, the line's gone. So now we'll do that right at the line. And this time, we want it to be on the inside of the line instead of on the outside. So. See the wood flying around, that's why I should be wearing safety glasses, but I'm slowly.
Safety first. Don't try this at home. Got protection.
And to go the rest of the way, I'm just going to use the table saw. And I'll cut a few more notches out of here, and then I'll have to clean it up with shims.
What I'm doing here is making sure that my new table saw, the blade is at 0 degrees or 90 degrees from the table so that I get nice even cuts. I am doing so with a Wixey angle tool.
unplug it. You're doing this.
Since the blade was not deep enough to go completely through this 4x4, you have to turn the 4x4 over and do the other side. The easiest way to do this is set the fence to the other side of the blade and run the 4x4 in this direction now.
Not too bad. So where this will sit, this will sit there, just like so. And the next leg, just like so.
In this step, you are going to repeat the same process you did to cut the legs out from the 4x4, this time with a 2x4 to create the top bracket that you're going to sink in to the 4x4s.
See that they are. I'll mark this one as well, so I know they go together. For the first notch.
Here you'll notice I'm marking out the notches where I want to set the braces for this cart.
Come over here. Mark that first one. Oh, and that bottom one. And it can be the same process as before. But I did the 4x4s together.
Again, I'm just cutting as deep as I want to set the 2x4s. The 2x4s will be flush with the 4x4 when they are placed into their spots here. So the depth is 1.5 inches. If you have a router or a table saw with dado blades, you can make this process go a lot faster and look a lot cleaner than just using a miter saw, as you see I'm doing here. Either way works. You can also do it by hand with some chisels. Once you have all your puzzle pieces cut out, it is time to start putting them together so that you can screw them down or glue them down, depending on how you want to do this. As you see later, I screw all these pieces down for a stronger hold.
And make sure she fits right. Some interior screws. They're 3-inch screws, and this is what they look like. Little head. They come with a little bit. Screw them all together, and it should be pretty sturdy when it's done. And I'll build the top for it once I get her all put together. I'm going in the right direction. More design for wood, but these should work. Get all the screw holes started. Tighten it down. See how level it is.
For the lip that I'm going to screw on the top here, I am pre-starting the screw so that I have a free hand to hold the board instead of trying to hold the screw and the board at the same time. You may also notice that I have clamped 2 boards on this side as well. I did that so that I would know the depth that I needed to screw the lip down, and that I wouldn't go too high or too low. The board will sit flush with these 2 boards that I have clamped down. Once you have everything screwed down and tight, it is time to place whatever you've chosen for your tabletop.